Wow, it's good to be back in our little slice of heaven here in Punta Gorda. Jennifer and I have been away for a couple of weeks. That midsummer time off is good for the soul and it helps rejuvenate the mind. We've had a great excuse every July to head on up to Minnesota to see our best friends, Mike and Donna. They are multi-repeat buyers that have become besties over the years. We have a lot in common, and after a week together, our laugh muscles need a rest. This time of year is also good as our son James usually is racing at Brainerd Raceway during the same week, so one of those weekends we spend 3 days at the racetrack. Compliments of him, and we watch his Vance & Hines professional team do their business on the racetrack. They're a top privateer team, and this year they are 1-2 in the points, leading the championship ahead of 2 factory teams they are racing against. I can tell you competitiveness runs throughout the family. But I didn't come back just to talk about our amazing vacation. We started the second half of 2023, and so far, some of the promises that were talked about have not come true, and some of the horror hasn't been that horrible, for most. Let's take a look at what's going on in the market overall. They, the mortgage guys, have been saying the interest rates are going to go down. 5% is the word on the street, but we haven't seen anything but steady numbers hovering around 7% or more. And that doesn't look like it's changing anytime soon. Look, I'm not a mortgage guy. Tomorrow, August 10th, I'm going to be 68. I bought my first house in my early 20s and it was 18%, so maybe I'm not a good judge of right timing. But here's what I do know. We bought that first house and those rates did come down. And while my neighbors refinanced sometime in the future, I sold 2 years later and made a $120,000 profit and invested it all into my first new build. And the rest is history. At that time, I was not in real estate business. I was in the tech business. But I made more selling that house than I made at my tech job that year. If I was smart, I should have gone into real estate, but I didn't. And I did just 5 years ago. My point is this. The 7% or so rate is problematic only because the cost of homes is so damn high and inflation is still out of control. Housing remains a wise investment, in my opinion, always was and always should be. Some negative in the market today is a record 82% of consumers reported that it's a bad time to buy. However, where is this information coming from? It's coming from Fannie Mae's Senior VP, Doug Duncan, his chief economist, and he's reporting, and I quote, "Unsurprisingly, consumers continue to attribute the challenging conditions to high home prices and unfavorable mortgage rates. Further, the share of consumers expecting home prices to continue to rise has been on a steady climb since March, which may only add to perceptions of affordability." Areas he doesn't discuss is that 80% of mortgage holders have a rate of less than 5%, while 90% have a rate of less than 6%. Almost 1/3 have a rate of less than 3%. Because this is the first time so many were able to get such low rates, when the rates did jump to 7%, homeowners decided they were no longer motivated to move, adding cost to their monthly payment. As a result, total existing home sales continue to slip and slipped 3.3% this June from the prior month to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 4.16 million. Contrary to the national information, Jennifer and I started to see a bit more acceptance of these higher rates as we recently had 4 finance deals where our majority have been all cash through the first half of the year. A sign people are willing to make decisions to move forward on the right property at a fair price. One last thing about our local market, we are not seeing price increases as stated by Fannie Mae's VP. We are seeing a leveling out or a small retraction to meet the consumer demands. In our local area, for the last 8 months, we have been reporting that 48 to 51% of the inventory has been decreasing in price to meet the needs of the buyers on a weekly basis. Only now are we seeing some price stability in at least one of the zip codes. I believe there's going to be more stabilization coming up in the very near future, and maybe even better pricing coming out. Stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, contact us at 941-219-5659 or go to mydigitallisting.com or myheritagelanding.com. We'll see you next week. Have a great day, everybody.